Close to closing out the month of April. Welcome to MLB Tonight, presented by Camping World, coming to you as we have been all season long, if you will, from home. Matt Vasgersian and courtesy of NTT Home Plate Camp, Harold Reynolds and Dan Plezak. Guys, good afternoon. Harold, we've missed about a month plus of baseball, and everybody's appetite is whet to get everybody back on the field.
Yeah, we got signs that things starting to move a little bit in the country, with the NBA getting ready to start open up their facilities for guys to get to. We're starting to see some things happen. We're still not out of the woods, but it's a little more encouraging, Dan, than it was maybe a month ago.
Harold and Matt, you touched on it. I think we're all jonesing, dying for some baseball, to get some live sports back on TV. I'm sure just as the players in Arizona and Florida, they want to get going and get ramped up. And I think we all want to try to get back to some type of normalcy.
Well, look, as close as a thing as we have to actual baseball is the virtual version. And MLB The Show 2020 has never seen this kind of popularity. Look, it's the best sports video game on the market, and I think the players that are involved in the Players League would agree. Players from all 30 teams playing MLB The Show 2020 coverage on FS1 and on ESPN leading up to the championship game on ESPN May 3rd. It's been a great watch, and it's been a great place for players to talk smack.
Somebody hit a homer. All right, we got a guy.
If you hit a homer, I'll name my firstborn child. Never mind. Never mind.
Let's go. Everybody heard that. Everybody heard that. Everybody heard that.
No.
Everybody heard that.
Cole Tucker joins us after serving up that fat meatball to Rhys Hoskins. Hey, Cole, I'm not sure, about your marital status, girlfriend, but when should we expect Rhys Tucker to enter the world?
Well, fellas, thank you for having me. Great to see you. Always good to catch up. I'm super single, so we're going to have to wait a little bit. Hopefully enough time for Rhys to forget about it. But knowing Rhys and knowing the kind of guy he is, that probably won't happen.
I'll tell you, Cole, great to see you, man. That was quite a moment, I'll tell you that. I want to talk a little bit about baseball, though, as we're all sitting around our homes right now. This was one of those seasons for you in spring training where you were going to go steal a job and be ready to start in Pittsburgh. How are you dealing with that, and what have you been doing during this time?
Yeah, man. It was tough, getting the news that we were going to have to go home, because I was swinging it really well in spring. I felt really good about where I was at and the adjustments I made from last year coming into this year and all the work going in the offseason. So it was a total bummer having to go home. But I know that baseball will come back at some point. I know that we will see some sort of normalcy again, and I'll be ready, and I'm staying ready. I'm here at the cage hitting right now, still getting my work in, still taking ground balls in the turf. So when we do get the go-ahead, I'll be ready to roll. But I'm excited. I'm chomping at the bit. It's been fun to be able to be at home and hit with my little brother and hit with some of my buddies. But I'm ready to be back with the guys and be in the clubhouse every day and be able to put on a show for the fans again.
Hey, Cole, it's Dan. One of your buddies, Cody Bellinger. You knew Cody Bellinger before he was Cody Bellinger. Any idea he'd turn out to be this kind of player?
Absolutely not. And that's no disrespect to Cody at all. But, I mean, growing up, he was always really good. And, yeah, you see him right there. So, big bopper in the big leagues now, hitting balls 800 feet into L.A. and the skyline or whatever. He hit one home run his senior year of high school. He was skinny like me. He always hit the ball hard and was a great defender, but you never thought MVP 40 homers in the show. We always used to joke around like, oh, Cody's going to be Eric Hosmer. But, now he hits twice as many homers as Haas does. And not to say that Haas isn't a great player, because he is, but he just superseded all of our expectations and couldn't be happier for him, He lives next door. I actually borrowed his PlayStation to play in that show tournament. I don't even have one. So he's a great friend, but I'm super happy to see all the success he's had.
Hey, Cole, I want to get back to the Players League for a moment, and I want to talk about a vendetta that you made good with. You were not in the big leagues when the whole Amir Garrett versus Clint Hurdle and the entire city of Pittsburgh incident erupted in 2019. But apparently it was on your mind when you faced Amir and the Reds in the Players League.
Yeah. You got the clip and everything. So, yeah, first pitch of the game, You know, he's probably expecting a heater down the middle, and he got one in the ribs. But so I was texting in our group chat with like our team group chat before the game started. Everyone's like, Cole, haven't seen you win an MLB The Show game in forever, but if there's ever a time to do it, like beat the Reds tonight. And they're like, you should hit the first bat or whatever, and it just got rolling, and I ended up doing it. And Amir was super cool about it. He was super sweet. He wasn't very sweet that day. You know, he's out there talking about we want the smoke and everything, but that was a cool moment. It's all fun and games, and it's a cool way to get fans into the Players League.
Who won that game, by the way? Did you guys beat the Reds in the virtual edition?
Nah, he beat me 7-5. I hit a couple homers. Josh Bell hit 2 homers that game. It was fun. There were a lot of fireworks, but I ended up taking the L.
Cole, before we let you go, man, that's some cool stuff. Matty V stirring it up with you, no doubt. I got to ask you about your little brother. You know, he's projected to go in the first round. You talked about him already. If anybody's happy to have you home, I would think it would be him.
Yeah, totally. I'm glad you asked. I'm obviously Carson's biggest fan, and he is a really, really, really good player, and I think he has a chance to be great. I think he has a chance to play a long time, but we've always just had this cool relationship with us being baseball players, us both being shortstops, us being tall and lanky and athletic, and we feed off each other. He makes me better. I make him better. He's gotten a lot of helium, and a lot of people are talking about him going really high in this June or July's draft, whenever it's going to be. But I'm really excited for him. I think he's got a chance to go high. I would pick him first overall because I'm biased, but he's going to be really good. I think Jonathan Mayo had him going like 28 to the Yankees yesterday, so that would be pretty sweet. But someone's going to have to calm my parents down. If we're both in the big leagues playing together, they're going to have like the Jared and Jeff Weaver dual jerseys like his parents had back in the day. I can't wait. My dad's going to be walking around wearing a Pirate shirt and whatever shorts of whatever team Carson gets drafted by. So we're extremely fortunate and lucky and blessed and just excited to see what's going to happen with him.
Oh, that's great, man. Hey, Cole, we really appreciate the visit today. And once everybody gets back to work, we'll certainly be rooting for you. And we look forward to checking in with you again when players are playing and everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, Matt, Dan, Harold. Always good to see you. Hope to see you out of the stadium soon. But take care and stay safe, fellas.
You got it. Cole Tucker joining us on MLB Tonight. We're going to take a break. When we come back, one of the things we as fans have been robbed of with no baseball is the folklore between the Giants and the Dodgers. We'll relive some of our favorite moments next.
MLB Tonight is presented by Camping World, making RVing fun and easy since 1966. Visit campingworld.com today.
Welcome back to MLB Tonight, presented by Camping World.
Well, this is a true Dodger-Giant rivalry. And that is hardball, folks.
So many incredible moments in the Giants-Dodgers rivalry. Thursday on MLB Network, we will celebrate some recent walk-off memories, starting with Steve Finley's NL Western Division clinching homer back in October of '04, all the way through Andrew McCutchen's walk-off in 2018. Kutch wasn't a Giant for very long, but he impacted the Dodgers-Giants rivalry. It's all coming up Thursday starting at noon Eastern on MLB Network as we welcome you back to MLB Tonight. With all deference, I guess, to Brewers Cardinals, Cubs Cardinals, Red Sox Yankees, of course, where, Dan, do you have Giants Dodgers in the lexicon of greatest rivalries in baseball?
Matt, I have them number 2. Number 1 is Red Sox Yankees. And I think a real rivalry, there has to be some angst and dislike for each other. And I think you have that with the Red Sox and the Yankees, and it's always been the case with the Dodgers and the Giants. So to me, number 2 on the list, and those two rivalries to me are far separated, far from everybody else.
Well, I look at it this way. You got to have the villain. You got to brawl. Yankees, Red Sox, boring now. They're not doing that. But Mad Bum leaving the Giants is going to change this whole thing. But before that, I'm thinking it's Mad Bum and the Giants against the Dodgers. He's the one who's kept this whole thing alive, excited, fighting, all the things you're talking about. But you got to have those villains. Him and Puig were the villains for me.
Yeah, it's a real good point. So, Harold, I'll go right back to you on this. I mean, there's so many moments to choose from. Is there something that stands out more than others, Dodgers, Giants?
Well, I got to go Puig and Mad Bum. I mean, just the history. You know, Puig gets the home run off him early on in their career. And after that, it was like, I don't like you at all. All right, so he flipped the bat a little bit, but Mad Bum chased him around the diamond, yelling at him. But he wasn't going to let it go out of his crawl. You know, he stared him down, let him talk to him. Yeah, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Puig's yelling back at him, so what's Mad Bum do? I'm going to hit you. You can't beat this stuff, Matt. The bench is clear. He goes down. And this is over a number of years. Okay, this isn't back-to-back, and they continue to yell. So now that they're both headed to different teams, it looks like. Puig may even be a Giant, we're hearing now. But Mad Bum's in Arizona. To me, Mad Bum kept the Giant Dodger thing alive. Muncy with the home run, talking trash. I mean, you got to have the brawls. The villain is just the perfect thing that makes it happen, and that was Mad Bum.
Dan, how about for you? Is there a moment in particular that stands out?
I'm thinking about big swings. Steve Finley, 2004. Clincher for the Dodgers, walk-off. These are two teams that dislike each other. Gets a high fastball right here, and this is one of those no-doubters. And you see Steve Finley running around a happy bunch of Dodger blue. And what's been cool about this rivalry, Matt, it's been a little bit of both. The Giants have caused the Dodgers some bad times, and it's gone vice versa. So that big swing by Steve Finley.
I've always thought that Giant fans had it in for the Dodgers more so than the vice versa. And don't get me wrong, Dodger fans dislike the Giants for sure, but it really gets ratcheted up in San Francisco. And when Candlestick Park closed after the 1999 season, the last Giants game there, that is, Tommy Lasorda, who was reviled in San Francisco, made like this sarcastic victory lap and waved at everybody with his name spelled incorrectly on the back of his jacket. It said Lasadra. And see, check it out, Lasadra. And we still don't know if there was some conniving clubhouse kid that did that on purpose, or if in fact it was just an honest mistake. But Tommy had no idea as he was blowing kisses and kissing babies and shaking hands that his name was spelled wrong on the jacket. Only Tommy Lasorda, my friend.
Only you picked that up, Matt. Only you. That's funny. I would have never known.
Like so many greater moments than that, but that one kind of sticks out to me. All right, let's take a break. Hey, there was certainly a lot of great pitching over the years between the Dodgers and Giants. When we come back, the anniversary of a notable pitching accomplishment, and it'll open up a greater discussion. What's the best single pitching game any of us have ever seen with our own eyes? Next.
Home Plate Cam is presented by NTT.
Nothing in 2. Nothing in 3. Strike 3. 18. In right field. The K's are up. Tie the record. 19 for Roger Clemens. Roger Clemens. One strikeout away. A new record. Clemens has set a major league record for strikeouts in a game. 20.
Welcome back to MLB Tonight, presented by Camping World. It was on this date back in 1986 that Roger Clemens, en route to his first of 7 Cy Young Awards and his first of 11 All-Star appearances, set a major league record for strikeouts in a 9-inning game with 20. Since that date, that feat has been matched a couple times, once by Clemens himself. That was a dominant pitching performance that, Harold, you almost had a chance to witness in person. Since you missed it, though, the question here for us is, what is the most dominant pitching performance that you witnessed with your own eyes? Dan, why don't you get this started?
Well, I'm staying with the theme of the Rocket. 1997, his return as a Blue Jay to Fenway Park. Went out to warm up, and I mean the Fenway faithful were all over the Rocket. Gave up a run in the first inning, and they were all over. There's Charlie O'Brien putting the right fingers down. How about this, Matt? 16 punch-outs, no walks, 1 run, had that split finger going, and by the end of the game, 6th, 7th, and 8th inning, they were on their feet in Fenway. Here he is looking up to Dan Duquette, the GM that turned his back on Roger. So that was a crazy day at Fenway.
I tell you what, I have some in mind. I mean, I've watched Nolan one hit my team's playing on that. I've been behind Randy Johnson on no hitter. But Steven Strasburg, his first major league game, you guys remember that, how we were going crazy for the network. We all went to Washington, and he flat out dominated the Pirates. He had 14 strikeouts in 7 innings, and he struck out the last 7 hitters. His stuff was filthy. And that, to me, it just stands out as one of the most dominant performances I've ever seen.
You know, as soon as we started kicking this around via email yesterday, the first thing that jumped into my mind, and I bring a different perspective, I'm just a fan. You guys played the game. But in 1998, after Randy Johnson was traded to the Astros, his 3rd start as an Astro came against the Milwaukee Brewers, who had absolutely no chance at the Astrodome that day. Look at the swings and the takes. You know, the big slider was ridiculous. He's throwing hard. The coolest part about this game was that Unit got a base hit, and as he was like loping to first base with those huge gazelle-like strides, George Herbert Walker Bush, Daddy Bush, was in the stands. He was a season ticket holder, if we'll recall, and he was among the many fans to get to his feet for a standing O, and the smile and laughter on his face, it was something I'll never forget.
That's pretty cool stuff. You knew Randy had to be in that group somewhere, though. I mean, he had some dominating performances throughout his career, no doubt.
I don't know that we could keep going and do a whole show on the most dominant pitching performances we've seen, I think. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Michael Bourn was known as a player for having generous speed. That generosity took another turn in retirement. A terrific story that we'll share with you next on MLB Tonight. Welcome back to MLB Tonight, presented by Camping World. Well, players are staying sharp, even retired players like CC Sabathia, and so are their dogs getting into playing shape. You never know. Give me the left-hander and his dog. Here's a right-hander staying sharp, Dan.
Corey Kluber, his 4-legged friend, being a scout and his pitching coach right behind him. Nice delivery there by Kluber right in the middle of that 10th screen. It's lonely out on that bump, Matt. He's out there in the backyard all by himself. Sounds like he's going to be pitching in the ballpark soon.
Hey, and then there's this, a really great story we learned of via Twitter. Harris County Precinct 2 Commissioner will read a resolution honoring former Astros star Michael Bourn Tuesday during Commissioner's Court for thinking of his 60 tenants first. Michael owns 3 apartment complexes in the Houston area, waiving their rent for April and May.
Hopefully May will help them just as well, and they won't hit rock bottom or anything like that by being able to, they can use it on other things and help their family, help their kids, help themselves. Now I want to do something good for them and help them out and help them move forward in life.
That is a huge gesture. That's not one of those, we'll put it back at the end of 60 days. That is bye-bye, don't worry about it, I got you covered. That's pretty impressive.
You know, Harold, there are a lot of people doing a lot of really good things. This COVID-19 has opened up some eyes. I think we're a kinder society right now, and what a tremendous, tremendous thing from Michael Bourn.
Yeah, you know, there are a lot of players that are out there with community outreach programs and making charitable donations that we don't even hear from, right? We see all the images on Instagram of guys having fun with their families and, social media images of workouts. But there are a lot of acts like what Michael Bourn just did that aren't getting publicized as much.
Yeah, no, that's one thing that's so great about our sport. I think it's unique in that guys are close-knitted. and they do have that philanthropic heart. That's something that's taught all the way through, and we're seeing it come out in full force right now.
And I think it's really cool too, Matty. There are a lot of players in their local communities that are reaching out, trying to help provide meals, provide anything that they can to try to help everybody get through this COVID-19.
Well, we hope that we can help people get through their non-baseball spring by showing you images of players and having MLB Tonight as often as we can. Thanks for watching. Keep your social distance. See you next time.